Hey everyone, Brian from Three Geeky Dads here. Before we begin tonight's episode, I just want everyone to know that we are now sponsored by Audible. As an IT professional for a school department, I find myself behind the wheel of my car traveling between schools almost all day long, and that's where Audible comes in. Right now, I'm enjoying listening to Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, read by Stephen Fry. It's so enjoyable to hear this hilarious audiobook read by a proper British comic actor. And that's just scratching the surface. Audible is the leading provider of spoken word content, with everything from bestsellers, celebrity memoirs, and news to podcasts. Yes, if you're into podcasts, and you're listening to us right now, so we can assume you do, Audible has got you covered. Just go to www.audibletrial.com/3GD to get your free 30-day trial today. That's www.audibletrial.com/3GD to get your free 30-day trial. You'll get 1 credit, 2 credits if you're already an Amazon Prime member. That's good for any premium selection titles you like, and they're yours to keep. You also get the Audible Plus catalog of podcasts, audiobooks, guided wellness, and Audible originals. Listen all you want, no credits needed. Again, that's www.audibletrial.com/3GD. $14.95 a month after your 30-day trial, cancel at any time. Audible. Stay informed, connected, and inspired. And now, on with the show.
Welcome to Quarantine Theater, a weekly quick dive into movies from cult flicks to trash picks, hosted by me, Marc Macrina of Three Geeky Dads. Some of these picks are from my own personal vault, while others recommended to me from fellow genre hounds. This week's movie from 2021, Spoken. Written and directed by Tenno Ransom and starring Chelsea Letzinger, Ryan Painter, Chadwick Farley, Chelsea Skalski, Steven Serbones, Eben Anthony, Becca Hayes, and Brittany Myra Smith. This movie was requested for me to review from our friend over at Three Geeky Dads, Josh Dowling. For those who know Josh, he's all about the deep cuts when it comes to movies. Or as he said to me, you'll never hear anybody talk about these movies, and they need to be read between the lines, but that's what makes them absolutely phenomenal. Well, I don't know if I would go so far as to call this movie phenomenal, but it's definitely one you'll probably never hear being talked about. The story follows a young Christian named Lena who, along with her college friends, managed to summon crab-like demons that hatch from weird balloon-shaped pods or cocoons that grow on trees. How are these creatures summoned? In short, bad language and negative thoughts. Eventually the creatures hatch and pick off the friends one by one. Only Lena's power of faith can serve as protection. But will she be able to stop the invasion from spreading beyond the campus? I'll leave that for you to find out. For starters, let me say, this movie was clearly a Christian film and I think meant for a specific audience, which I have no problem with. To quote Josh again, keep in mind, it's not a very good movie. It's what's behind it that made me think that's very different and very interesting. Well, Josh is right. It isn't a very good movie, but it did have a nice idea behind it, and I think the right intention on sending a positive message to the viewer. Unfortunately, the movie suffers from almost a zero budget and spends a lot of time pushing a Christian agenda that not everyone is going to get behind. Touchy subjects such as abortion, racism, and religious beliefs get thrown in that really aren't needed in the story, and that tend to take away from an idea that could have been a decent horror flick with a morality message sprinkled in, rather than it being forefront. For me, it's always entertainment first and idealisms and beliefs second. I've tried to make movies with zero budgets and have failed miserably. Believe me, I'm no expert, which is why I went back to doing what I should have been doing all along, comics. I know it's not easy to make a movie, but I've seen these types of movies achieve more with even less. These types of movies can't take themselves too seriously, especially if they don't have the visual strength and means to pull it off. Overall, this movie is preachy and saturated with a certain belief system that spends a large portion of the movie and overshadows the actual plot of the movie, which I, like Josh, actually think is an interesting idea. It just could have been done better, low budget or not. But you be the judge. It's streaming on Prime, so check it out if you want. This movie is the threat level low in entertainment, but if you, like me, like to gather with some friends and riff on some low indie stuff, you might get something out of it. Thanks for joining me, and come back to the theater next week for another pick from the toxic litter. But for now, this is Marc Macrina saying goodnight, and please vacate the premises. Quarantine Theater is written by Marc Macrina and produced and edited by Brian Ramsey. An escape pod in part with Three Geeky Dads. If you have an offbeat, cult, or genre movie you'd like me to check out, let me know through our Three Geeky Dads website, www.3gdpodcast.com.